This animal can look at your face just once, memorize the exact configuration of your features, and hold a ruthless grudge against you for years. It will go back to its community, describe your face to its flock, and coordinate a targeted strike until hundreds of birds who have never seen you before start attacking you on sight. If you wrong this bird, it will remember, and it will tell everyone. This isn't a psychological thriller about a government surveillance program. This is the everyday reality of the common crow. We treat these birds like background noise, black shadows on telephone wires, picking through roadkill, scavenging trash cans in city parks. They seem ordinary and easily ignored. But the moment you look under the feathers, your entire understanding of animal intelligence completely breaks. Crows don't just survive in our world. They run a highly coordinated network of generational memory that treats the human race as an ongoing security audit. They are watching us, cataloging our behavior, and passing our descriptions down through time. To prove how deep this goes, scientists at the University of Washington set up a radical, multi-year experiment that sounds more like an espionage operation than wildlife biology. They bought realistic rubber masks, one caveman mask as the dangerous target, and neutral masks as controls, including the face of a famous politician. A researcher wore the caveman mask and went out to trap and band a small group of wild crows. The birds weren't harmed, but being held upside down and handled was an intense, high-stress violation. To the crows, the caveman mask became the unmistakable face of danger. When scientists later walked the college campus wearing that caveman mask doing nothing wrong, just walking peacefully down the sidewalk, the skies erupted. The crows didn't flee. They formed a tactical mob, screeching, signaling to other trees, diving from branches, aggressively harassing the intruder. When the same researchers walked past wearing the neutral mask, the birds ignored them completely. They didn't care about clothing, height, or stride. They were reading the face. Then the experiment took a turn into the impossible. Years passed. The scientists stopped trapping. The original birds grew old, and a new generation of chicks filled the campus trees, birds that had never been touched by a human being. The researchers put the caveman mask back on and walked out onto the campus green. The campus went into chaos. But here's the kicker. The number of crows attacking hadn't decreased over the years. It had multiplied exponentially. Birds that were never captured, chicks that weren't even born during the original incident, were now diving at that mask with absolute fury. The original crows hadn't just kept a personal memory. They had translated complex visual information into specific vocal communication and systematically passed the description of that face down to their children and neighbors, creating a localized culture of generational revenge. The caveman had been turned into a mythological monster within the crow community, a boogeyman passed down through oral history. How does a brain the size of a walnut hold that much data without corruption? Crows possess a brain-to-body mass ratio matching a chimpanzee. Their real processing power sits in a dense forebrain region called the nidopallium, which handles high-level learning, structural memory, and causal reasoning. When a crow looks at you, it isn't seeing a generic human silhouette. It is running a real-time biometric scan mapping the distance between your eyes, the height of your cheekbones, the shape of your nose, the contour of your jawline. Brain imaging studies show that when a crow sees an enemy, its brain lights up in the exact same regions as a human experiencing fear and anger. Your features get locked onto a biological wanted poster saved into a long-term neural vault with zero data decay. When that crow returns to the roost at night, it doesn't just sleep, it communicates. Crows use a complex matrix of over 20 distinct vocalizations, mixed with subtle shifts in pitch, rhythm, and body language. They don't emit a generic alarm, they broadcast a specific threat signature. The community analyzes the danger level, maps the threat zones across the neighborhood, and updates the collective database in real time. Their intelligence extends far beyond grudges. Crows are one of the few species on Earth that don't just use tools, they manufacture them. If a crow needs to pull meat from a deep tube, it finds a wire or twig, deliberately bends the end into a perfect hook, and fishes the food out. If the tool is too short, it chains multiple objects together to achieve the result. They understand gravity, water displacement, and structural leverage problem-solving at a level that rivals a human toddler. We pride ourselves on facial recognition software and massive digital databases, yet individually we walk past dozens of strangers every day and forget their faces within minutes. Our memories fade, our descriptions blur, our personal grudges dissolve with time. Crows run a cold, calculated risk management system where every human face in their territory is permanently categorized as one of three things: an asset who provides food, a neutral element to ignore, or a threat to neutralize. Enter the asset category, and the rewards are real. Crows leave physical gifts for humans who feed them regularly, shiny objects like earrings, keys, glass beads, and metal nuts arranged neatly on feeding platforms. They track who you are, where you live, and your daily schedule, optimizing their behavior around your routine. Land in the threat category, and the network makes your life miserable. They track your commute, post sentries on light poles outside your house, and the moment you step out your front door, a spotter crow fires a specific rattle call. Within seconds, the sky fills with black wings. They dive bomb the back of your head, drop waste on your car, and mimic your voice from the canopy. And because they live over a decade in the wild, that grudge can easily outlast your lease. Most people think dominance in nature requires massive teeth, sharp claws, or overwhelming physical strength. The crow requires none of that. It has built something far more dangerous: a living, breathing intelligence network that operates across generations without a single server, without a single device, and without ever forgetting a face. And the grudge system is only one piece of it. Researchers have documented crows holding what can only be described as funerals. When a crow dies, the surrounding flock gathers around the body in total silence. They aren't mourning in a poetic sense, they are conducting a threat assessment. They study the scene, identify what killed their companion, and update the community's danger map. Death becomes data. Loss becomes a lesson that gets added to the collective archive. They have also been observed playing. Actual, deliberate, purposeless play, sliding down snowy rooftops repeatedly, dropping objects mid-flight just to catch them, and inventing games with no survival reward whatsoever. For a long time, scientists believed play was an exclusively human or primate behavior. The crow does it casually, as if daring us to reconsider everything we thought separated us from the animal world. What makes all of this truly unsettling is the timeline. Crows have been living alongside human civilization for thousands of years, watching cities rise, watching our habits evolve, quietly updating their models of us. We built surveillance technology in the last century. They have been running a version of it since before written language existed. The crow doesn't need to be the biggest. It doesn't need to be the fastest. It just needs to remember more than you, communicate faster than you, and outlast you, which, in most cases, it quietly does. True power isn't carried in a single beak. It is held in the shared memory of the entire flock. This is the last paw, and some lessons are only learned from the wild.